Canada and the United States used to be like a well-oiled machine, working side by side in trade. But now, things have taken a sharp turn. And they're no longer just fighting over steel and aluminum. This new trade war is hitting the heart of the North American economy: cars and energy. From electric vehicles to electricity itself, nothing is safe. So buckle up, this ride is getting rough. For many years, the United States and Canada had one of the smoothest trade relationships in the world, exchanging billions of dollars in goods every year. They shared a strong connection, especially when it came to cars and energy. But that strong bond broke apart when the United States brought up national security. Under President Trump, the United States added big taxes, called tariffs, on Canadian steel, aluminum, and also key energy products like potash. The reason given was to stop illegal border trade, but many experts believe it was more about politics than safety. Canada didn't stay quiet. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau hit back with his own tariffs on U.S. products, but it was new Prime Minister Mark Carney who took it further.
In his first week, Carney announced even more tariffs, this time on billions of dollars worth of U.S. goods. Things like machines and car parts were all affected. The new rules started on March 3rd and shook supply chains across the continent.
Carney was clear: Canada won't be pushed around, not at the border or in business. With industries like autos, energy, and farming under pressure, this could leave serious damage on the tightly connected US-Canada trade system. And the biggest hit? Car factories in North America. Next on the list, the car industry. And yep, this one's going to hurt. Canada hit back hard by putting a new percent tax, called a tariff, on electric and gas-powered vehicles from the United States. That messes up plans for big companies like Tesla, Ford, and GM, who rely on smooth cross-border movement of car parts. Think about trucks like the Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra. Their parts travel across the border several times before the vehicle is done. With the new tariffs, those trips now cost way more.
Tesla's in a tight spot. They're already struggling to keep profits up in a chaotic electric car market. And now these new tariffs could crush their sales in Canada. There are even whispers that Canada might target Tesla more than others because it depends so much on US-based battery parts. Ford and GM aren't having an easy time either. Each year, millions of vehicles are made in Canadian and Mexican factories and then sold in the United States. But now, extra costs from the tariffs are making it harder to keep prices down.
Car companies have two bad options: raise prices in Canada, or take the hit and earn less money. And here's the big twist: these tariffs could slow down Canada's move to greener cars, because local EV production can't keep up, and now importing them costs more. So fewer people can afford electric cars. That's a big setback for Canada's clean energy goals. Bottom line, prices go up, options go down, and the road to a greener future gets a lot bumpier. But while car makers are getting hit hard, the energy industry is about to face its own kind of trouble.
If cars are already in trouble, energy is about to take a big hit. Ontario's Premier Doug Ford just turned up the heat. He added a new fee on electricity that Canada sends to the US, and he made it clear: if things get worse, he might cut the power completely. If the US keeps pushing, I won't hesitate to shut it all off. This trade war wasn't started by regular Americans. One man is to blame: President Trump.
This isn't just tough talk. Several US states rely on Canadian electricity to keep their lights on. Now those power grids are at serious risk. The US government has already complained, and energy prices are starting to rise. Power companies are scrambling to find other energy sources, but those aren't easy to find, and they cost more. The Bank of Canada is also worried. They say if this trade fight keeps going, it could cut the country's GDP by a significant percentage over the next 2 years. Investors are nervous too. Canada's main stock index, the S&P TSX Composite, dropped notably after the news broke. So here's what we've got: higher costs to build things, unstable electricity, and voters in both countries getting more and more fed up. But Canada isn't just reacting anymore. They're getting ready with a big plan to fight back and move forward. If you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit that like button and drop a comment below. It really helps us reach more gearheads. Thanks for your support. And now, back to the ride. The trade fight is heating up fast, but Canada isn't just defending itself anymore. They've got a plan to build a stronger economy from the inside out. Prime Minister Mark Carney just rolled out a big new strategy to make Canada more self-reliant. At the center of the plan is a support package worth millions of Canadian dollars. It's designed to help small and medium-sized businesses. They'll get tax breaks, cash to grow their factories, and even rewards for choosing Canadian-made products. Buying local is turning into a way to power the economy.
But Carney's thinking beyond quick fixes. He's speeding up major projects, like expanding the Port of Churchill and building new LNG terminals on the West Coast. Why? So Canada doesn't have to depend so much on US trade routes. One of his biggest moves? Doubling Canada's loan guarantee program. That means if Canadian companies want to change how they get supplies, the government will back them with real financial muscle. And he's not stopping at Canada's borders. Carney's team launched billboard ads in key US states. The message? These tariffs are making life more expensive for everyday Americans. Higher gas prices, pricier groceries, fewer car choices. It's a smart move aimed at swaying public opinion during the US election. Carney's not just protecting Canada, he's reshaping the country's future, one trade decision at a time.
While the US keeps using tariffs like a weapon, Canada's shifting gears and taking a whole new road. Say hello to the TPP, the Comprehensive and Progressive Trans-Pacific Partnership. For Canada, it's more than just a trade deal. It's a way out. By building stronger trade ties with countries like Japan, Australia, and Vietnam, Canada opens fresh lanes for cars, energy, and tech. But that's not all. Prime Minister Carney is also eyeing new trade deals with Southeast Asia, especially the fast-growing ASEAN countries. The message to the US? You're not the only partner we've got anymore. This isn't about cutting ties with America. It's about having options. Canada doesn't want to slam the brakes on US trade, but if things go bad again, they won't be stuck. And here's the twist. Other countries are watching. If this works, Canada could become the go-to model for smaller nations who want to take back control of their trade without picking a fight. So with Canada building new bridges globally and reinforcing its economy at home, the big question is, what's next? This isn't just a disagreement anymore. It's a full-blown battle over who controls the engine of North America. Will the US force Canada to back down? Or will Canada's smart strategy, investing in itself and expanding globally, shift the balance of power? Tesla, Ford, GM, they're stuck in the middle. Electricity prices are going up, and voters in both countries are wondering, is this really the ride we signed up for? So what do you think? Is Canada's pivot a genius move or a risky gamble? Will carmakers survive the squeeze, or will drivers pay the price? Drop your take in the comments. We want your raw, unfiltered opinion. Smash that like button, slam subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next torque-filled update. This is Gearhead Glam, where politics meets horsepower and every story hits top speed. Catch you on the next one. Until then, stay loud, stay proud, and keep your engine running hot.